Well, I have only.
It's kind of a freak show.
Oh, it is, and it's a bizarre, fascinating city. And I haven't spent as much time there this decade as I have in previous decades. When I first started in the NFL, I was always out there covering NFL games and NFL playoff games, and had an absolute blast. I covered a lot of baseball out there, regular season and postseason, and but now you've gotten to the point now where you have all the tech guys tech people are going in and buying out everything that's livable in San Francisco. So really what you have in San Francisco now is you have ultra rich and homeless and not much in between.
Yeah. That was kind of what I'm saying. First of all, it's kind of a cool city. You do feel the energy there as a tech company. I mean, you're walking around the city and you see, you're looking at the buildings and you see like all these companies that we all know that are kind of headquartered there, which is really awesome. But man, like I'm walking out of Macy's and I'm making a right toward my hotel 2 days ago, and there's just a guy walking down the street butt naked with a briefcase, and nobody seemed to even be noticing. Like it was crazy.
That's called business casual in San Francisco.
Yeah, it really. I mean, that was the thing is that he didn't even. I don't even think he was homeless. He had a briefcase. Looked like he was going to work, and nobody seemed to be noticed. Like I saw it like I was on candid camera. Then it seems like, I don't know if it's a Marriott Westin thing right now, but it seems like everybody's on strike. Like not at my Marriott, but I passed the Marriott Union Square and I passed the Westin Union Square, St. Francis, and there were like picketers in front. That was pretty interesting. There's dog poop all over the city. I mean, everywhere. I hope dog poop.
Well, I was just saying, we can be sure in San Francisco.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just a strange city. But then there's just like you're just like, wow, this place is awesome too. I mean, it's just kind of like the vibe of either end of the spectrum is pretty interesting.
Oh, no question about it. I was covering a Twins A's playoff series, I guess 2006 out there, and I was like rushing. Back then, you needed to make sure you had cash for cabs and for everything else. And I'm standing at an ATM and kind of in a hurry. And I turned around, and the guy who had been standing behind me at the ATM was wearing what's the best way to put it? Buttless chaps.
Yeah.
Just standing there at the ATM with his butt hanging out at San Francisco. Yeah. Great, maybe the greatest restaurants, the greatest views, the greatest architecture, most beautiful vistas, and also the other end of the spectrum, as you sort of put it so kindly.
Yeah, it is. It's just like I'm kind of glad there's no NHL team there because you can get yourself into some of those restaurants are just ridiculously good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it was pretty. I got to tell you, I was the athletic headquarters. It's just pretty funny. All these, tech people working their butt off, and I'm just sitting there on the couch, kind of watching everything go in there, and I'm just like, wow, I'm glad I don't have to work in this office. I do not fit in here. Yeah. It's just a bunch of smart people just with headsets on, just working at computers, doing God knows what to keep the site going, make this company awesome. So it's pretty cool.
If you haven't seen it, the sitcom, I think it's HBO, Silicon Valley, is very funny and very on point. You might want to check it out.
It's pretty cool.
Let's get some Twitter questions here. We do want to thank Fixology Repair downtown in the Skyway, also third floor, Mall of America, right by Nordstrom's.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at fixologymn on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
And, of course, Fixology is run by John Hedges, our friend who comes out to the live shows at Delano's. Again, the next show at Delano's Pizza, November 14th, 6 p.m. Please come out and join us. It's a lot of fun. From Adam on Twitter, how shocked were you? Well, I think we've already talked enough about Q. Let's see. Boy, all the questions are about the coaching changes and the prospective coaching changes in the NHL. From Bert Carter, our friend who comes out to the shows, is it true that Suter has banned all Wild players from taking an Uber?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that would be again, I would love to be just a fly on the wall at any players gathering throughout the league. And I think that we'd all
they'd be ripping on us too, though.
Oh, no doubt. I can only imagine the stuff.
And we deserve it. From Alec, what's more dumb, a coach getting fired or a GM making a bad trade? I guess his point is, should the coach get fired if it was the general manager who made the mistake?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like Dave Tippett right now is running Seattle. I don't think he wants to coach. He's right. Perfectly fine now saying, you know what, I think I've done that. I've been fired a bunch of my life. Let's now run the show. But you're right. I mean, if Alex's point is that Stan Bowman has made a lot of crummy trades in Chicago, he's probably right. I mean, he's made some bad trades, but a lot of it has been, the reason for their riches is that they had this core of guys like Crawford, Kane, Taves, Keith, for a while Seabrook, for a while Hossa, and so he had to, when they won cups, make sure that he kept the core together. And what it has led is to some very painful trades over the years to try to stay cap compliant.
Right.
From a little baby, is that your dog?
Can you guys hear that? See, I never know with this directional mic if it's seeping in. Is it causing problems?
Yeah, it's better than when you were doing dishes during the podcast.
Yeah, well, I need a solution. I just need a place I can do these shows where my dog won't drive me absolutely crazy. So if the dog is annoying you, I will solve that problem by the time we do another.
It's not. It's just one of those things. I'm like, I knew I heard something.
Yeah. He thinks he needs to talk. He thinks he needs to be a part of every conversation I have. Is my problem.
Yeah.
From Family Dining on Twitter, what surprised you most about this Wild team?
Probably what I was saying about just their depth is a lot more. We kind of poo-pooed it at the beginning of the year that they didn't make any huge monster changes, didn't have any core altering trades, things like that, and we kind of rolled our eyes at the signing of Patterson and the signing of Fair, and that Foligno was going to be better, and so far, again, it's early, but so far they look really good. The other thing is again the Wild have been, if you're a fan, knock on wood, extremely healthy so far. Their only injuries have been Eriksson Ek and Hendricks, both, frankly, guys that can be easily replaced, and it didn't hurt them. And so they've won 7 of 8. 7 of 8, I should say, without Hendricks, by the way. So that should be probably something, and I like Matt a lot. And I'm doing, by the way, a huge athletic story on Matt for Veterans Day that I think that will really touch a lot of people. But the reality is that they've won 7 and 8 without him, and I think that Bruce should probably pay attention to that. That I know we all kind of look at JT Brown as somebody that hasn't made a huge impact yet, although he did the other night. But I think that his skating is one reason that helps that fourth line, and I think it should probably make it hard for Matt Hendricks to get in. It wouldn't shock me against slow teams like LA if Matt Hendricks gets in, but against fast teams, I would always play Brown.
Still a number of good Twitter questions to get to. Do want to thank Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent in Champlin, Hoaglund. It's easy for Michael and I to recommend Tony because he handles my insurance and he handles Michael's insurance, and he's very easy to interact with wherever you happen to live in the metro or in Minnesota.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoagland. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number 1 in car insurance since World War II and number 1 in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
From Eric Olson, is Coyle showing anything this year? What does he bring when he doesn't show on the score sheet?
Well, I think he's playing much, much better lately. I don't like him on the power play at all. I just wish he would get more of a killer instinct. I mean, those plays in St. Louis the other night, he's getting the puck next to the net. He did have one where he turned around and ripped it and just went wide of the cage, but he's the only guy I know that can stand with the puck next to the goalie and throw it through 3 guys in the middle, in the high slot. He just needs to get more of a killer instinct. But again, I think he's been, for the most part, the last 2 weeks playing much better hockey. You just wish, and he's getting some key points. I mean, he if you look at all his points lately, the assist on the Granlund winner the other night, he had a really good play on that entire shift that led to Nick Seeler's first NHL goal, and he had the primary assist on that. He is playing much better, but look, I mean, as we've exhausted the cliche. He is what he is, but Coyle is who he is at this point. I think we could all agree that he's not going to become the perennial 30-goal power forward that we all thought that he could be when he was traded here in 2011.
From Davis Bailey, with this team firing on all cylinders as Anthony LaPanta predicted, that will go to Anthony's head, especially the fourth line and third D pair. Do you see Prosser going to Iowa? Without injuries, will Cunnin spend most of the season down there?
I just, Davis Bailey's question just got me thinking about that Europe trip next summer. That to avoid an Ottawa Senators situation, I think that anytime that Anthony and I get together with all of the fans on that trip, we're going to have to put cell phones in a bucket.
Oh, absolutely, and have people sign waivers.
Yeah, You want to hear Anthony and me unfiltered? Come to the Alps with us next year. By the way. What was the question from David?
Basically, will you think Prosser is going to go to Iowa, and you think Cunnin will stay down there?
Well, I definitely think Cunnin's going to stay down there right now. And in terms of Prosser, I mean, look, they need a seventh D up here, and you need insurance. And he's got to go waivers down there, and he can't constantly take conditioning stints and allow the Wild to just, basically get by putting him on waivers by allowing him to play Iowa. So he could do that. He can't just go down there and not be put on waivers. And I do think that if he's put on waivers, he's taken. So, to me, this is just what it is. I mean, he's just not going to crack the top six without an injury. So that's just going to have to be. He's going to have to accept that this year. There's no doubt about it.
From Pete Springler, most important question of the podcast. Now that Michael's a homeowner, what will he wear when he cuts the grass next summer? Shorts, jeans, or slacks?
I don't have to cut the grass. Part of the deal of the community that I'm moving in is that landscaping and snow removal is taken care of.
That's really disappointing. I think. We're still going to be able to Photoshop you, but I was going to hire paparazzi to take a picture of you cutting the grass.
Nope.
From Bill, has Patterson shown enough upside to potentially function as a top four right shot defenseman? And would this make Fenton more comfortable trading Spurgeon or Dumba in the right deal?
I think he's in a perfect role right now. I don't think he's somebody that should be getting 25 minutes a night and a second pair potential. Look, they're not trading Dumba. It's just so Spurgeon maybe. Spurgeon's the guy that has 2 years left and is going to be 30 at the end of that deal. Although Spurgeon is not going to get old anytime soon. So, we'll see. I mean, it has to be the right deal. They were in on Nylander. They were talking to Nylander. I do feel like I've gotten the impression that that's kind of dissipated here in the last little bit. But again, we'll see. We'll see what happens in there. But I don't think Patterson is the one that puts them in a position where all of a sudden he could be in a top four role.
If the Wild hit the trading deadline near the bottom in the playoff seedings, would Fenton consider renting out Stahl at a good return? Example, 2 high draft picks and a prospect. What if they're out of a playoff spot at the deadline? Boy, the team's playing well and people want to blow up the team.
Yeah, I know. If they're out of a playoff spot, yeah, you consider it. If they're in a playoff spot, I don't think you're in it. I don't think you do it at all. I just that would take the life out of the Wild. If all of a sudden you traded Eric Stahl while they're in a playoff spot or potentially trying to make that nex step. He's that important to this team. Just not only on the ice where he's just such a, he's not the goal scorer he once was, but this guy still has a nose for the net. He knows where to go. He is still their goal scorer. And if all of a sudden, he was no longer there, I mean, you take that guy out of the room, it's going to be a devastating thing for a lot of guys. That guy is so popular on this team. I mean, you just see it. I'm staying at their hotel right now, and this is the first time in about 20 seasons